Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, was at one point in history the richest man in the world. Come on, it wasn't that long ago. It was only months ago that he lost his place to Elon Musk. Amazon today is a giant, but it wasn't always like this. At some point in its history, the company was in a position where its investors and Wall Street bigwigs didn't have the same confidence in it that they do today. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Stay tuned, because today we'll tell you about one of those success stories where an entrepreneur shuts the mouths of all his detractors. Today, it is practically impossible to imagine a world without Amazon. The quality of life that this company has given us when it comes to buying, well, pretty much anything you want, is worthy of the modern world that we live in today. It all started in the 1990s when a young Jeff Bezos, inspired by his wife, started a book-selling company that would use what was then a novelty that almost no one understood or even had access to, the internet. Does that name ring a bell? Hey, let's not forget that the internet in its early days was not what it is today, so this was a very risky bet on the part of the young Bezos. A bet that today we know he won. However, in the more than 20 years of Amazon's history, this was not the only risky bet that Bezos had the joy of winning. Today, we deal with a bet that happened about 10 years later, one that reminds us that Amazon had to shut many mouths before becoming the giant it is today. Before you start, however, we recommend that you subscribe to the channel so that you're always up to date with the latest news and developments in the world of business and entrepreneurship. That said, time to check your memory box because we're getting started. You may not know Amazon Web Services, AWS for short. In case you don't know that this is an Amazon service, just know that it is the most successful, adopted, and comprehensive cloud platform in the world. It simply delivers everything it promises and has a pretty substantial clientele. Pretty remarkable achievements, huh? The Amazon subsidiary was founded 16 years ago in 2006, and as you would expect with any new proposition or innovation, it was quite controversial back in 2006 when we were all still using MySpace. What did the so-called experts think of the new proposition from an Amazon that was not yet the giant it is today? Let's find out. Amazon's big bet in 2006 and Wall Street's reaction. In 2006, Amazon was barely worth about $10 billion, and the investors were increasingly losing confidence in the promises of the no longer so young Bezos, who was already 42 at the time. Businessweek magazine, remember this name because it'll be important later on, dedicated several articles to Bezos about his risky bet, and well, let's just say that none of them were positive. The magazine criticized Bezos for attending an ill-timed shopping spree, and also pointed out that while new technology stocks at the time, such as cloud computing, were up 52%, Amazon shares were down 20%. In fact, Businessweek stated that Amazon Web Services was the riskiest bet the company had made since its founding in the 1990s. I think we've spoiled the end of this story several times already, but still, worth discussing. Let's talk about the resounding success of Amazon Web Services. Let's get straight to the point. Today, this cloud computing platform is globally recognized for revolutionizing the world of online marketplaces. The profits that this subsidiary has brought to Amazon are worthy of its winner status. But before we talk about those profits, let's take a look at, if you got to this part and you're liking today's content, why not leave your like so that the video can be recommended for more people? Ready for that thumbs up? All right, moving on. This platform also became a very important factor in Amazon's current capitalization at $1.08 billion. Last year, in 2021, Amazon Web Services alone followed Bezos and his company with a profit of $62.2 billion. In fact, according to the income statement from earlier this year, much of the company's profitability so far in 2022 has been thanks to the high-profile subsidiary. Amazon Web Services earned $6.5 billion during the first quarter of 2022, which far exceeds Amazon's revenue of $3.7 billion. So yes, you could say that Jeff shut all the suspicious mouths, let Businessweek's editors down, and of course, created one of the most successful platforms in history. I don't know what you think, but he definitely won this bet, and with an edge. Before we finish, there's still one point we need to talk about, so don't go away just yet. Haven't you wondered why we just remembered this bet 16 years later? Alright, let's answer that. Bezos brags about his Twitter victory. Last month, on 18 May to be precise, Bezos posted a tweet when he let us in on all of his genius. In the tweet, he showed a picture of a framed edition of Businessweek 2006, where he talked about the bet that was Amazon Web Services, and the one responsible for most of the negative articles we discussed earlier. The cover of this magazine remarked that the then new Amazon subsidiary was a very risky bet that left no one on Wall Street happy. Just coincidentally, Bezos came out in his tweet that Amazon Web Services made $62 billion last year. You know what they say, kill them with kindness. Before ending the video, we'd like to ask you some questions because we'd love to know your opinion about today's topic. What do you think about the 2006 articles and Wall Street's attitude? Were their doubts justified? What do you think about Amazon Web Services? Do you think it's such an important platform to be worth so much money? What do you think about Bezos' tweet? Was he right to boast about his victory? Don't forget to answer in the comments box. That concludes today's video. We'll see you next time.